The movie screen went black. Not the normal kind of black that means the movie is over. This black felt heavy, like it was pressing down on everyone in the theater. The words appeared in white letters. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in cinemas December 19th. People clapped. Someone laughed. A kid shouted, "That was awesome!" Then Freddy's eyes opened. They were still on the screen, glowing bright in the dark. Freddy slowly turned his head and looked straight at the audience. Not at the camera. At them. The theater doors slammed shut with a loud bang. The lights flickered once, twice, and went out. A deep voice filled the room. "Welcome to Night 1. The screen changed. A red digital clock appeared. 12 a.m. Jake felt his heart drop into his stomach. This was not part of the movie. Someone screamed. And something metal moved behind the last row of seats. Earlier that day, everything felt normal. Jake Miller was 11 years old and lived in Indiana. He had been waiting months for this movie. All his friends at school talked about it every day. Posters were everywhere. Online ads kept saying the same thing again and again. Only in cinemas. December 19th. No streaming. No phones. Just the theater. Jake's mom dropped him off with his cousin Ryan, who was 13 and loved scary stuff even more than Jake did. "Call me when it's over," his mom said. Ryan smiled. "We'll be fine." Inside the theater, it smelled like popcorn and soda. Kids laughed. Parents talked. Everything felt safe. They found their seats in the middle. The movie started. It was scary but fun. Animatronics jumped out. Music got loud. People screamed, then laughed. Jake covered his eyes a few times, but Ryan just grinned. About halfway through, Jake noticed something strange. The air felt cold. Really cold. Then he heard a quiet sound. Click. 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 "Do you hear that?" Jake whispered. Ryan nodded. "Yeah, weird." On the screen, Freddy stopped moving. The sound continued. Click. Click. The screen flickered for a second, showing a dark hallway with security cameras. Then the movie continued like nothing happened. Jake felt uneasy. The final scene played. The screen faded to black. That's when the words appeared. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, only in cinemas December 19th. And then, Freddy looked at them. Now, back in the dark theater, people stood up and rushed to the exits. They didn't open. "Hey! Open the doors!" someone shouted. The red emergency lights turned on, casting long shadows across the room. Jake grabbed Ryan's arm. "I don't like this." On the screen, security camera views appeared. The snack bar. The hallway. The lobby. Something moved on one of the cameras. A tall shape stepped into the light. Bonnie. Real. Tall. Silent. A child started crying. The voice returned. "Rules are simple," it said. "Stay inside. Watch carefully." The camera switched again. Freddy was standing right outside the theater doors. Then the pounding started. Boom. 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 The doors shook as metal hit them from the outside. Jake's heart raced as the clock on the screen changed. 12:01 a.m. Behind them, a metal footstep echoed between the rows. And something breathed right behind Jake's seat. Jake froze. He did not want to turn around. The breathing behind his seat was slow and heavy, like metal rubbing against metal. Ryan slowly stood up, his face pale. "Jake, don't move," Ryan whispered. Too late. The seat behind them creaked. A tall shadow rose under the red emergency lights. Chica stepped into the aisle. Her eyes glowed faintly yellow. Her beak opened and closed as if she was sniffing the air. Each step made a sharp clank that echoed through the theater. People screamed and ran. Popcorn flew everywhere. Someone fell over a seat. Another person cried for their mom. "Run!" Ryan shouted. Jake grabbed Ryan's hand and they pushed through the crowd, jumping over fallen seats and bags. Chica let out a broken screech that hurt Jake's ears. They reached the front of the theater just as something slammed into the side doors. Boom! Freddy's face appeared on the screen again, smiling wider than before. Bad choice, the voice said. The lights shut off completely. For one long second, there was nothing. Then the blue lights turned on. The theater looked different. Older. The walls were cracked. The floor was dirty. The air smelled like dust and rust. Posters on the walls showed old Freddy Fazbear characters, faded and torn. This place changed, Jake whispered. Ryan shook his head. No. We changed places. The screen showed a new camera view. A hallway with a sign above it. Security office. A timer flashed again. 1:30 a.m. Watch the cameras, the voice said. That's how you survive. Jake and Ryan ran toward the hallway behind the screen. Other people followed, but some stayed behind, frozen with fear. The hallway was narrow and cold. Old posters lined the walls. Freddy's smiling face stared at them from every corner. They reached the security office. Inside were monitors, buttons, and switches, just like in the game. Ryan slammed the door shut and locked it. On the screens, Bonnie walked through the lobby. Foxy peeked from behind a curtain. Chica was gone. Jake felt his stomach twist. Where did she go? A loud scrape echoed above them. The vent camera turned on. Chica crawled inside, her metal arms scraping the walls. Ryan hit the light button. Chica froze, staring straight into the camera. Then she backed away into the darkness. Jake breathed out slowly. Okay, Ryan said. We can do this. The power meter dropped. Fast. The lights flickered. Freddy's laugh echoed through the speakers. You're learning, he said. But time is running out. The timer changed. 3 a.m. The office door rattled. Bonnie slammed into it once. Twice. 3 times. The door bent inward. Sparks flew. Jake covered his ears. Ryan, I'm scared. Ryan grabbed Jake's shoulders. Listen to me. When morning comes, the doors open. We just have to last. The monitors went to static. All of them. The lights shut off. The pounding stopped. Too quiet. Then a soft jingle played. Music. Right behind them. Jake turned slowly. Freddy was standing inside the office. Smiling. And the clock ticked forward as Freddy raised his hand toward them. Jake could not move. Freddy stood only a few steps away, tall and quiet, his metal body glowing under the flickering blue lights. His smile did not change. His eyes did not blink. Ryan pushed Jake behind him. Stay back, he said, though his voice shook. Freddy lifted one slow hand. The lights went out. Jake screamed. Then beep. The lights snapped back on. Freddy was gone. The office was empty. The monitors came back to life, one by one. Static cleared. The cameras showed the theater again. People were still hiding between seats. Some were crying. Some were frozen in fear. Jake fell to his knees. He was right there. Ryan helped him up. I know. I saw him too. The speakers crackled. You survived the scare, the voice said. But the night is not over. The clock appeared again. 4:30 a.m. Almost morning. The power bar blinked red. We're low, Ryan said. If it hits 0. The hallway camera changed. Bonnie stood outside the office. He tilted his head. Then he ran. Ryan slammed the door button. The metal doors dropped just in time. Bonnie crashed into them, sparks flying everywhere. Jake covered his ears as the pounding shook the room. On another screen, Foxy ran through the lobby, fast and wild. Chica moved through the seats, searching. They're all coming, Jake whispered. The lights flickered. The power bar dropped lower. Freddy's voice returned, softer now. Almost done, he said. Just one more test. The power hit 0. Everything shut off. Darkness swallowed the office. No lights. No screens. No sound. Jake held his breath. Something moved in the dark. Metal scraped the floor. A soft laugh echoed. Then, ding! A bright chime rang out. The lights exploded back on. The clock appeared one last time. 6 a.m. The pounding stopped. The scraping stopped. The laughter faded. The office door slowly opened by itself. Jake and Ryan stepped out. The hallway looked normal again. Clean walls. New posters. Bright lights. They walked back into the theater. The animatronics were gone. The doors burst open as morning light poured in. Parents rushed inside. Police shouted questions. Workers looked confused and scared. Jake's mom ran to him and hugged him tight. I was so worried! Ryan's dad pulled him close. What happened in there? Jake looked around. Other kids were crying. Some were silent. All of them looked changed. He looked back at the screen. It was blank. Just a normal screen. As they walked outside, Jake noticed something near the exit wall. Scratched deep into the metal were words. Only in cinemas. December 19th. Across the street, a new poster was already up. 5 Nights at Freddy's 3, coming soon. Freddy's face smiled from the poster. As Jake stared at it, Freddy's eyes slowly turned. And blinked.